Pearl Davis finally got what she'd been asking for and sat down with Michael Knowles from the Daily Wire to debate marriage. I'm going to take you through 3 clips that I think do a good job of highlighting the most important arguments from this debate, and then I'm going to finish by showing you how this debate painted a clear picture on why marriage is failing, or better yet, why most modern people are failing at marriage. Here's the first clip, which sets the stage for everything else.
To me, this is the key because, the liberals love to say, see, college-educated women, they favor liberal policies, which is true, but I don't think that college education signifies a, particularly strong education.
Okay.
To me, it's clearly a sign of liberalism. So then, I don't mean to blame the victim here if I'm talking about the men, but it would seem to me if you don't want to get divorced, not marrying a liberal woman is a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
If the more liberal women are, the more likely they are to divorce. It's almost like a truism, right? It's like saying, the more likely a woman is to support divorce, the more likely she is to divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then why would a man marry a woman who would support divorce?
What's important to understand about this is that there are beliefs, values, and behaviors that produce stable and successful marriages, and there are those that do not. The fact of the matter is, it's degenerate behavior of men and women causing modern marriages to fail more often. The main difference is Pearl says degenerate behavior is happening, therefore scrap marriage. The traditional conservative says no, scrap the degenerate behavior because marriage is deeply meaningful and needed for individuals, families, and a stable society. And in fact, we have a model that is proven successful. And if you follow it and change your behavior, you are significantly more likely to have marriage success. This is what they get into here.
My confusion is, though, you bring up these statistics, and so then we acknowledge the statistics that show that if one gets married, assuming that divorce is not a sacramental reality, that the likelihood of divorce goes way down. But then when we say that, you instantly say, well, actually now the statistics aren't worth anything because young people are different.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
So
wait.
We agree that the numbers for Catholics, Jews, Muslims, Orthodox Jews and Muslims, divorce numbers are way lower. And you acknowledge those statistics, but then you say,
no, I don't. No, I don't.
You don't? Okay. All right.
No, because most of those include women over a certain age.
Right. You're saying the young people, it's totally different.
It's a different time, Michael.
So what is,
and that's the same thing. Like the time my parents got married in is completely different.
So
than
what
the time
changed?
today.
Other than now they have, so they meet on apps rather than at bars, and that's the big change? That's why we can't believe the statistics anymore?
Well, the average marriage is 7 years now, Michael.
Right, but we've had divorce, expanded divorce for a long time. We've had no-fault divorce in America since 1969. So, I acknowledge these are, by historical standards, relatively novel, but we're still talking like 50 years, right? More than 50 years.
I don't, I just think a lot of times I hear you guys' advice to go to church and find a good woman. And I don't necessarily think it's bad advice in general. But again, I think that times have changed. And I think a lot of times you guys are a bit out of touch with what the average man is going through in this country.
Pearl calls herself a Catholic, but she does not promote the Catholic solution to marriage. Traditional Catholics have some of the highest rates of marriage success. It is not out of touch for traditional conservative men and women with successful marriages to tell people what works. Pearl isn't wrong about everything. The divorce laws favor women, and perhaps reform is needed there, given young women are becoming increasingly more liberal. What I've been saying here, though, is that divorce laws do not matter for traditional religious people because our marriage is a sacrament before God, not the state. We don't answer to the state, we answer to God. Pearl knows that Michael is right about the solution he gives here in this last clip.
I think that in the current market, there are just not enough wives to go around. There are not enough wives to go, women that deserve to be wives, in my opinion. Okay,
sure.
You'd agree on that, right?
Well, I don't.
Like so
I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Maybe I would agree, but I don't know exactly what you mean by it.
Okay. Do you think men should have standards?
Yes.
Do you think it's okay for them to want a woman that's in shape? Do you think that's an okay standard?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, a girl that's religious. Would you say that's good? Okay,
necessary.
But that's not the majority. That's not the majority. So what are men supposed to do in the meantime?
You're supposed to convince the women to get in shape and get religious.
Good luck. I've done it for a year. Good luck.
You haven't had, but maybe the men would be more persuasive than you would to these women.
Good luck.
I don't know.
Did the OnlyFans models quit that you interviewed?
I don't know if that, I've only
Come
interviewed a few on whatever. But
No,
some of them
this
might.
shows. That's the point.
There's actually,
I mean, miracles happen, but I wouldn't bet on it.
There is a model of behavior for marriage success, just like there are models of behavior to build a successful business or to have a healthy body. It's not the business world's fault if you failed at business. It's not your body's fault that it's unhealthy and not working properly. Understand that it's not marriage that's the problem. There are plenty of us out there with thriving, meaningful marriages. Traditional Catholics. It's modern people's degenerate behavior that's the problem. And men and women must be clear that if you don't change your behavior, then yeah, you probably don't have a very good chance of a successful marriage.